Hello, everyone. This is Eric from Etiquette back for another live stream this Sunday evening for myself. If you're new here, please put your name and where you're from in the comments below. My name is Eric and I'm a teacher. And on this live stream, we talk about teaching. So if you have any questions, if there's anything you want to share, just put it in the comments below. Can everyone hear me well? I see we've already got some friends joining. Let's quickly see. Bonnie Esther. Good morning, Eric and colleagues from around the globe. Greetings from Massachusetts, USA. Bonnie Esther, it's lovely to have you as always. I feel so dejected every time I try and say Buenos dias. Buenos. I was actually speaking to a friend from Mexico this week, and I was trying to say it, and I just can't. I think I've got some kind of mental block. Buenos dias. Buenos dias. And then we've got Celeste. Hi, Celeste. ¿Cómo está? Hello, everyone. Greetings from the Philippines. Hi, Celeste. Good to have you back. And in mind, hello, all. Greetings from Japan. And in mind, I still need to reply to one of the comments you made on the videos. I've been really bad at getting back to the comments. It's something I'll work on once I'm done next year. It's something I'll work on because we're getting to the end of the semester and I've got a lot of work and a lot of things I need to work on. And my dad is here. Hi, teachers from the world. Hi, Dad. Actually, my dad has helped me write a book on 100 no prep activities. Dad, I'm busy editing it right now, going through it. It might take me a while. I hope to get it done soon. Grant, good evening. Teaching from China, Grant class. Grant, it's lovely to have you back again. You gave some excellent advice before, especially when it came to online teaching. I really enjoyed your ideas. Nawal, good evening. Eric from Malaysia. Hi, Nawal. Mufida, there, we said it right. Mufida S.A. Hi. Buenos. That's way better. Let me try it. Buenos dias. Buenos dias. I hope that helps. So the best. Hello, hola, hola, merhaba, and privyet. So nice. That's a great way of doing it. So the best. Adita, hello from Albania. Muhammad, hello, sir. Hi, Muhammad. Today you look so handsome. I don't know what it is. Thank you. I feel very handsome today. And then Sabina says here, and try and say buon pomeriggio instead. It's 2 p.m. in Italy. Buon pomeriggio. I hope at the end of next year, I'll be fluent in saying hello in every language. That is my goal for next year. I think that's what I should make my New Year's resolution, is to work on my language skills, at least learn a few phrases from most languages. So, I enjoy trying. I just feel so bad when I mess up. Guys, if you've got any questions about teaching, please put it in the comments below and we'll try our best. Hi, Sabina, by the way. Yeah, it's been a while. Always a pleasure to have you here, Grant. Salam from Tunisia and your dad. Great to see you again. Thank you, Mufida. Yes, there we go. I definitely want to join you again. I'm on a time zone. Yeah, time zones are tough. I'm going to be on Paul's live stream next week. It's going to be Saturday 12 p.m. for me, and it's going to be in the morning, Friday morning or Friday evening, where he is in Canada, I think. Elise, hello from Guatemala. Hi, Elise. Kavan from Cambodia. For Quito. It's been so long. Hi, my dear Eric. Hi, everyone. I finally could be here this lovely hour. My dear Eric, please receive a strong hug from Mexico. For Quito, it's such a pleasure to see you. I'm so happy. I'm so happy to see you. English lessons. And how are you doing for Quito? These days, I feel like all roads lead to Mexico. I've got a few friends from Mexico. Some of my friends that I've been talking to are in Mexico right now. It's very interesting. I wish I was there. English lesson. Madiha from Egypt. Hi. Luzaang. Hola todos. Hola todos. Hello, everyone. Good morning from Colombia. I feel like everyone can speak so many languages in this group. How can I learn the English language? Practice, find friends, find a teacher, commit yourself. By the way, I shot the course 50 ways to improve your English, because I've had lots of viewers ask me, Eric, how can I improve my English? And so I want to share 50 ways that you can you can improve your English. It's just 50 ideas. My plan is to finish editing it. It's not going to happen this year. When I go back to South Africa to go and visit my parents, while I'm there, I'll do the editing and I'll finish it. But that will probably be in a month or so. Because right now we're coming to the end of the semester at my job at the university. So I've got to finish all the grading and get all my paperwork sorted. And then in 11 days, I'm flying to South Africa, knock on wood, for Christmas to meet my brothers. I don't think I'm going to get much work done. I'll still do my live streams, and I've got a couple of videos coming out. And then when I go see my parents, I'll be able to do a lot of work and plan and get ready. And in mind, I'd like to you talk a bit on the topic of a role of expectations of EFL students, as you have experienced it during your career. Thank you. Yeah, I think so. The topic of role expectations of EFL students. Can you what is the word? Can you elaborate a little bit on that, in mind? I'd like to, the topic of role expectations. So is it a role expectations of what the students expect of you, or of what you expect of your students? So what do you expect your students to do? What do you expect a good student? How do you imagine a good student in your class? What do you expect them to do? Is that what you mean, in mind? I've got a few ideas that I'd love to share. Adelina, try saying percentage, Albanian language. Percentage. I hope it's not a bad word, Adelina. Merced, hello, nice to see you and hear your great teaching ideas. Merced from Catalonia, northeast of Spain. Hi, Merced. Javed, hello from Afghanistan. Sarun, hello, teacher. Hi. From Cambodia, how are you doing? I'm doing really well. Now, guys, let's get started. Let's get to business. That's what we're all here for. And mom, Jennifer, watching from Bangkok. Welcome back. Q King. Hello, Eric and everyone. Hope that everyone is fine. Good evening. I'm watching from Myanmar also. I'm living in Thailand. How are you today? Okay, now, everyone, back to business. Oh, sorry, that was probably very loud. Back to business. So last week, I asked you I asked you to go on a form. I asked you to type this in, go on the form, and then you could register for, let me put it like this, for the live draw. And almost 20 people wrote in and they participated. So basically, I partnered with Twinkl. Twinkl said, Eric, we would give a free month or free couple of months. I don't remember. I think it's just a free month to some of your viewers. So if you win the free month, you can go to Twinkl and you can download as many resources, worksheets, and lesson plans as you want. I put a link down below to Twinkl where you can go and check them out. They've got a lot of free resources you can use as well. I've made a lot of videos for them too because I think it's so useful. It's free, so I want you to use it. But you can pay for it, and then you can download whatever resources you need as a teacher. Now, so 20 people wrote in, and they gave me their email addresses and names. I'm going to pick one person each week for the next 3 weeks. Last week was the first week that people could write in. 20 people wrote in, and I wrote their names down just so that you know I'm not cheating. I'll read some of the names. By the way, someone told me that if you wear a green hat, it means something bad. It means something bad. This is actually a hat for St. Patrick's Day. Oh, let me just hold it like this. This is actually a hat. Magnus is a cider, but it's actually for St. Patrick's Day. But I heard somewhere that if you wear a green hat, that's very unlucky, or it says something bad about you. Anyway, I wrote everyone's names down. Let's see, who do we have here? Pooh. We've got Maria M. We've got Bonnie Esther is in here too. Who else do we have? Just so that you guys know, I didn't write down everyone's name. Tony K. I don't know if you guys can see, but anyway, Ardita. So 20 people. I wrote down their names. I have no. I've got no prejudice. I don't have any favorites. But I think what we'll do is in a minute, I will draw one of the names. And for that person, their name, I'm going to send their email to Twinkl, and they're going to register you for a month where you can go onto the website and download everything you want for free. Let's quickly go down. Guys, I'm not going to read everything. I'm just quickly going through. Wilson, Ashmeet. Oh, did you see? He was so good. But man, that could have gone either way. We're talking, Ashmeet and I, we watched UFC and there were some good fights. But what about anyway, let's continue. Ashmeet, I'll talk to you later about it. Guten Tag, konnichiwa, ciao, shalom, bonjour. How can I improve writing? Let's see. Eric, I like your live streams. Thank you so much. Letty, hello, everyone. Sorry, student-teacher classroom interaction in the context of local culture. Okay, this is very interesting. End in mind, I'll definitely get to that. Here in the country, what are you celebrating? Oh, they're celebrating. What are you celebrating in Mexico? You pronounced it very well. Thank you, Adelina. Hi from Algeria. Eunice, I find it difficult to... so when you give instructions, you want to make sure that the students understand. If they are very young and they don't understand instructions, remember, repeat it, say it slowly, write it down on the board, give them all these different ways to actually understand the instructions. Keep it basic, keep it simple, and if necessary, translate it for them so that they can understand what it means in their own language. Because, for the students have to understand what you want them to do. Otherwise, they can't do that, right? Okay. Now, I don't have anything else. I've got 20 names in here, and I'm going to pull one of the names. That person, I will send your email to them, and I will let you know. I'll send you an email that you've won. Okay. Close my eyes. By the way, next week I will have my final class here, my final live stream here, and then maybe 2 weeks later I will have it in South Africa, which will be fun. Okay, is everyone ready? And the winner is Galina. Okay, Galina. Okay, Galina, you are our first winner. I'm going to send you an email. I'm going to keep all the names here. Now, if you want to join the draw, you can go to this website. Just type that in, bit.ly/draw, and then I will put your name in the hat to win. Just give me a second. Okay, there we go. Okay, so let's get back to some of the questions. Sorry, guys, I've been all over the place today. Hello, everyone. For Kita, a lot of religious parties. Oh, I don't like them because they make a lot of noise and firecracker. The poor dogs are so afraid. Yeah, that's really bad for the dogs. Patricia, St. Patrick's hat. Patricia, how are you doing? Guys, by the way, I love looking. I've got Patricia on Instagram, and she's an amazing dancer. She travels a lot, and you can really see that she loves it. I can dance a little bit, but I would love to learn some salsa, get some real lessons. I was planning on doing it before Corona, and I haven't had a chance yet. So, Patricia, thank you so much for the dancing. It looks so good. And she says, Twinkl is great. Thank you. Rafael from Colombia. Hi, Rafael. And Martin's here too. Hi, Martin. Luza, mimic the instructions to small children is a good idea. Oh, good idea, Luzang. The kids learn by copying actions. Excellent. I will share this with my live. Thank you so much, Eunice. I really appreciate that. Young learners, it's a good... See, Letty, you and Luzang, you both had the same idea. Tomorrow I have my live stream, and a week Monday I have a Christmas special quiz. Oh, that sounds really fun. Yeah, guys, check out Martin's channel. He has his Monday live stream and a quiz. Very interesting. Okay, now, End in Mind asked the question. He said, Eric, so what expectations do you have of your students in class? Now, I guess, as with everything, you want to understand clearly what you want your students to achieve. What are your goals for your students? Is it to improve their English? To what level? Do you want a stricter class where they focus more on grammar? Do you want them to learn more vocabulary? Are you preparing them for tests? In my classes, it's all about communication. So it's a lot of speaking classes and conversation classes. Now, when I go into my classes, I won't just say realistic expectations. I've got dreamy expectations of my students. I expect these are different things. My expectations for them are very high. I hope I can help them achieve as much as possible. I want them to go out of that class and be very confident. However, this can be very dangerous if you set your expectations too high and they cannot perform and get to that. Then sometimes they might feel disappointed. So I do have very high expectations of my students, but I'm constantly either motivating them, encouraging them, or even if they don't meet those expectations, then I say, listen, it's that old adage of shooting for the stars, and even if you miss, you land in the moon. So even if you have high expectations for them and they achieve a certain level, then that's way better. Now, when it comes to what I expect my students to do in class, when my students come into class, one of the first things I tell my students, because especially with Korean students, they are very shy to speak, and they're very shy to make friends. The majority of them. There are some standout cases. But when my students come in, I tell them, listen, guys, I've got a few rules in my classroom. Number one, we respect everyone. And then number two, when someone speaks, we all listen. Number three, nobody is shy. You are a talking machine when you come into this class. You want to talk. The rule is, in this class, no one is shy. So that is an expectation I have of my students, that when they come into my class, I'm going to ask them questions and I want them to answer. When I put them into groups, I expect them to work with their friends. Now, there are a lot of ways that you as a teacher can make sure that the students do that in class. I think you've got to constantly role model it for them. You've got to what is it? Why do I always forget this word? You've got to structure it for them. You've got to scaffold it for them. You've got to start by asking them simple questions and then increasing the difficulty as the course goes on. So there are so many strategies in class of how you get your students to perform and do what you expect of them. So in my classes, I expect all my students to answer questions when they're in groups, to work together. But I also, to balance that out, I also give them more freedom. So, for example, I tell them, you know what, I expect you to do these activities, but in between, it's okay if you speak to your friend in Korean. But when it comes to practicing the actual skills or the vocabulary, I want you to practice your English. Now, this could go either way, but in my classes, I found that if I want my students comfortable in class, I've got to make a few exceptions. I've got to make it easier for them in different ways so that they feel comfortable. So it's all about what you want your students to achieve, I guess. I don't know if that answers your question, but I feel like have high expectations of your students, and then those things that you expect of them to do in class, you've got to model it. You've got to scaffold so that they can do it easily. And then I also I constantly nag my students. So if a student doesn't perform the way I would like them to, if they don't do something that I feel that I think they could do better, I would, nag at them. I'll be like, so the first time they make a mistake, I'll be like, oh, okay, let's continue. It's just a mistake. But if they constantly make the same mistake or they don't do something that I would like, I would say, I would have like basically like a group discussion with the class. I'm like, guys, listen, you know what? I don't ask many things of you, but you've got to do it this way, So at the end of it, they just don't want that nagging. Anyway, sorry about that. Let's continue with the chat. And what is everyone saying? Ramko, thanks to you. For Keto, I have a group of grown-up people. They want to give up because sometimes it seems to be difficult. Please, my dear, encouragement to refuse that. Dedicate some words, please. Okay, this is exactly what I'm saying. For Keto, when it comes to motivating students, you want to show them what they're able to achieve. So you want to give them a clear picture of what they want to achieve. And you also want to put some kind of fear in them. If they do not achieve these goals, if they don't work in class, what what will happen because of that, right? So what is the result if they're not working hard, if they want to quit? What would that mean to their lives, and but if they continue, what possibilities are there? How can this open up doors for them? And it shouldn't just be, it would be good for my job or I would look good. Yeah, those things are good for encouragement, but you should also look at what it would mean for them if they can push through and be one of a kind, and improve their English skills. So when it comes to your students, encourage them by showing them what is possible, but also, show them if they don't continue, what would it mean for their lives, And as teachers, that's the most we can do, is we can show them the options and hopefully motivate them, encourage them to follow the right options, By the way, last week I wanted to talk about this, and it's all about a book that I'm reading at the moment. Now, I haven't finished the book, but so far I've gotten some kernels of knowledge from it that I would love to share. This book is called Atomic Habits. I don't remember the author's name right now, but he talks about how to create positive habits. And now, one of the things he talked about is about setting goals. When you're growing up, all the motivational speakers, all our teachers, everyone around us basically says, listen, you've got to create goals. You've got to create SMART goals. If you don't create goals, you don't know what to aim for, and you can't go for it. If you don't create the goals, you won't be successful. But in this book, he basically says that goals, that's one layer of achieving success. Setting goals is one layer. But what you want to focus on, a deeper layer inside that, is setting processes. You have systems in place. So you've got goals, that's something you want to reach. But if you don't have the systems for you to achieve that goal, the processes, the things you do systematically over and over again to reach those goals, you won't reach those goals. So for example, if you go to the Olympics, every athlete's goal is to get a gold medal. So they go to the Olympic Games. Every athlete's goal is to get a gold medal. Does each person get a gold medal? Obviously, no, because they've got different processes. Maybe they don't train as hard. Maybe they don't have the same diet. Maybe they don't follow the same things. So their processes are different. In our lives, if we set goals, let's say our student's goal is to become fluent in English. You can say, okay, well, that's a good goal to have. But what processes do you have to reach that goal? Are you going through vocabulary? Are you practicing with a friend? Are you reading? Are you listening to audiobooks? Are you practicing? Are you taking classes? When you're in class, are you speaking out loud? Are you trying these? Are you learning new grammar? So these processes are what's going to make you successful. Now, so the first layer is having goals and setting goals, what you want to achieve. That's very important. You need direction. And then next is the processes that you want to have so that you can become successful. So for example, if you want to be a good teacher, what processes can you have? You can set up rules. You can create activities. You can create lesson plans that engage your students. You can work on your on how you speak to your students. You can look at your relationships, on how to build relationships with your students. What are these processes that you can put in place to be a successful teacher? Now, the third and the most important level to being successful is the individual. What can you as an individual do to be successful? Now, what does this mean? In this book, they gave the example of someone being offered a cigarette. So if you're offered a cigarette, the one person might say, sorry, I'm trying to quit. And that's fine. That's a normal response. Whereas if you gave a cigarette to someone and their response is, sorry, I don't smoke. Very small difference. But the mindset behind that will establish how successful someone can be. Okay. So if you go around and let's say I want to be a good fighter. I want to be someone that exercises, and I'm a good boxer. Now, if I want to be successful, I have to think of myself, if I'm a boxer, what would a good boxer do? Would he eat fast food? Will he stay in and watch TV? No, he'll probably go, skip rope, jump rope. Anyway, he'll go and exercise. What will he eat? He'll probably eat something more healthy. What will he watch? Will he watch TV, or will he watch some old fights to get some ideas and motivation? And it's the same for teachers. Instead of asking, what can I do to be a better teacher? How can I get the students to listen to me? Think about your ultimate teacher. What would that teacher do? So if you've got this ideal teacher and you want to be a better teacher, you can say, oh, what would that teacher do in this situation? What would that teacher do? If you want to lose weight, you say, what would a skinny person, well, what would a healthy, not a skinny person, what would a healthy person do right now? Would they eat lots of candy, or would they, take something a bit more healthy? So once you start changing your mind to the individual setting, then you could be more effective. And sorry for this long rant. It's just something I wanted to talk about. I'll go through the things now. What do you guys think about that? So you've got goals that you have to set. You've got processes that you've got to follow. And you've got your individual mindset that you've got to shift from, oh, what would I do this way, to what would the ideal person do in that situation. Okay, guys. So if you're learning English, follow that. If you want to be a better teacher, if you want to be a better English teacher, try and think of those things. Eric, what are your plans for Christmas? I am going home, hopefully, knock on wood, the 23rd of December, and I will spend it with my brothers. I hope, or I'm not sure. Sometimes my brothers are weird. Eunice, you can definitely send me a friend request. Thank you. Bonnie Esther, great approach to fostering speaking, Eric. Thanks. Okay. Thank you, Bonnie Esther. Eunice, I want to be an expert in TEFL. Could you please suggest some resources? Yeah, I think it's difficult. I did a video on 20 resources for teachers, but they don't really teach you how to be a teacher. Most teachers do a TEFL or TESOL course to learn how to be a better teacher. I can suggest one right now, but definitely look into it, Eunice. Patricia, it's a great book, definitely. James Clear. Thank you, Martin, by James Clear. Good morning, Paul. So I will be on a live stream with Paul next week. It will be Saturday for me, so I think it'll be Friday for you, Paul, right? Lady, students need to realize that everyone is different. Some take longer than others, but everyone can do it. Also, the teacher can't learn for them. The teacher is a helper and a guide. Very nicely said, Lady. I have Clear's book, but only read one chapter 2 years ago. Thanks for reminding me to dust it off and read it. By the way, guys, talking about books, I want to share something really cool with you. So I told you last week that I need to read more, and I ordered a book. The Teacher's Book of Days. This thing is amazing. I haven't officially started with it, but basically, this writer, Susan Clark-Struder, PhD, wow, fantastic writer, great ideas. Because sometimes, you know what? I've tried to read lots of books on teaching. I've tried to find a lot of information. But as soon as I started reading through this book, I found some of the chapters. So it's basically every day she writes something about teaching. And at the end of each chapter, she's got a question here. Like, for example, February 25th, it's all about cooperative learning, and she talks a little bit about it. And then at the end, she has a question. In what different forms can your students learn together cooperatively? And she's got some great ideas that I totally agree with. Now, I haven't read everything, but my plan for when I'm going to South Africa, I'm going to take this book. I'm going to work through it and make some notes, because I think this looks like a very valuable book. From what I've read so far on it, it's also a hardcover. I'm so happy to get the hardcover for once. And I'm just going to take this with me. If you are truly experiencing a day off, enjoy it. What will you do today to enjoy the last holiday of summer? Very nice. Yeah, and so she brings in a lot of history and a lot of information too. I think this is going to be a great book. Let's see. Isa, It's good. Hi. Sorry for the loud Isa. Bacteria, absolutely. Goal and direction should be aim of life. Yeah, I think it's very important. You know what? Earlier in my life, I was a teacher, but I didn't have any real goals. I didn't have any purpose. I didn't have anything to work on to improve. And it's only when I started studying for, I think I was just going to turn 30, I started studying for my master's. And when I started doing that, it felt like, wow, you know what? I'm not wasting my time. I've got something to do. I've always got something to do. And then I started writing some books after that, just to get into writing a little bit. And that was so much fun because as you start doing something, you really enjoy it. And then after that, I moved into YouTube. And now with YouTube, I've got like a billion videos that I have to make. I've got to do a lot of research. I've got to do a lot of script writing. And it's really fun. It's something that I enjoy. But I think the idea that you always have some kind of goal in life, whatever it might be to improve your English. It could be fitness. It could be building a relationship or better relationships with whoever. But yeah, we should have these goals and follow them. I think it's very important. I don't, right. I always find it useful to say that this is my goal and then consider how to achieve with many stages. If you want to become a better teacher, you need to think about how to achieve it, definitely. Goals and processes. Love it. Watch your excellent videos. Thank you, Patricia. How can I be an expert in the field of education? So that's it. You've got to read. You've got to practice. You've got to look for more information. You've got to look for people to collaborate with. The problem with education is, I feel like it's so difficult to connect with each other. And if you look at other communities around the world, it feels like they are constantly working together. And now with teaching, I feel like with Facebook, there are groups growing, and at schools and communities, you also have teachers getting together. And we've got to just share our knowledge, and we've got to also practice it in class so that we feel like we're improving. Because if you just talk about something, it won't actually become real. You need to practically use it for it to be effective and to see if it works. Martin, in respect to what you were saying, I want to become healthier, so I've decided to take a daily walk in my routine. I hope that I can become healthy and lose weight in the meantime. Martin, I really hope so too. I'm constantly telling myself, I'm sitting at home, I should take a walk, even though it's getting cooler. I think there's something about just getting outside, taking a walk that is so necessary for us. So if you've got a pet, that makes it easier, so you can take your dog for a walk. But otherwise, we should just take ourselves for walks too. Yes, Friday evening in North America and Saturday morning in Asia. It will be my honor to host Eric on my live. So thank you so much, Martin. I'm looking forward to it. Bahare, I saw your video today. Guys, Bahare did a video explaining some expressions. What was the word again? Commitments? Bahare, I can't remember which one it was, but such a good teacher. I could immediately see the way that she explained. Even though I didn't understand the language, I could understand what she was trying to explain. And you can definitely see a good teacher when they're busy explaining something. Fatima, hello and greetings. I'm Fatima Sharifi from Helmand province of Afghanistan. You are the best teacher. Oh, thank you so much, Fatima. I really appreciate it. Name of the book? This one is The Teacher's Book of Days. I haven't read it, but so far some of I just scanned through it, and whenever I found a passage that I thought was interesting, I thought, wow, some good information in there. So I'll definitely use some of this for maybe some of my future content. We'll see. That looks like a useful book to have. One more book that I really enjoy because it's got so many great ideas is Wisdom for Winners by Jim Stovall. It's got a story for, I think it's got hundreds of short stories and ideas to use. And the reason I enjoy it is because you could actually use it with your class too. So let's say you're starting class for the day and you want to tell them a story to to inspire them. Then you read one of those books, one of those short stories, and it's quite short. It's just a couple of minutes, and I think students will love it. Yeah, it's called what is it? Wisdom for Winners. Such a great book. I haven't, once again, I haven't completed it, but I've read enough of it to know that it's really good. Fatima, I really love the way that you explain and your speaking manner. Thank you so much, Fatima. I feel like, I'm constantly trying to work on it too. I should watch some more videos of other great speakers and learn some tricks. I've got another book that I read, something about how to interview people, and that had some speaking tips too. I don't feel like I'm following all those tips, but it's always good to just look for some ideas. Whether you use them or apply them, it doesn't matter. As long as you're constantly trying. Hi, Eric. I like your videos, especially the games to improve speaking skills. Thank you from Indonesia. Apa kabar? Actually, I've got the latest video I'm making. I think you guys are going to enjoy it. The sight words video. So basically, it's the normal format. The first minute, I talk a little bit about sight words, and then I show the games. But the difference with this is that I took some video of myself playing the games. It was a lot of fun. Oh, but I was so disappointed this Thursday. So I've been dying to make a video about flashcards, these flashcards that I've got. It's so good. And I organized with some of my students to shoot the video. And I always keep my flashcards here next to me. And then on the day that we're supposed to shoot the video, I look for it everywhere in my apartment and I couldn't find it. And I thought, okay, well, it's probably at my office at work. Get to the office, I carry my bag with camera equipment. I'm ready to see my students. And I get to the office. It's not there. So I went into the class, into my class, and the students are there, and they're like, "Teacher, are we going to play those games? Are we going to record it?" And I also promised to buy them a coffee to say thank you, each one of them. They're like, "Oh, we're in the mood to get our coffee." And I said, I remember I was so dejected. I think I was more sad than my students. I was like, "Guys, I'm so sorry. I can't find the cards. I always have it with me." And they were so disappointed. I was even more disappointed. And then earlier today, yesterday, I was driving and I went to Costco and I thought, okay, wait, let's just look in the trunk. And I opened up the trunk and there it was, all the games in there. So I found the games, but I couldn't shoot the video. It made me so sad. Hopefully in the future. Fatima, the person should be disciplined because when you are disciplined, it means that you a direct way through your goals with a specific program and run this program continuously. Definitely, you've got to set plans in motions. You've always got to know what you're doing next. I feel like today's title of the live stream should be books. I read this book about, I think it's called Turning Pro. It's called Turning Pro. Give me a second to see who it is, because this guy has 2 books out already. Turning Pro. Yeah, he's got a big name. Tap Your Inner Power. Wait, who wrote it? Stephen Pressfield. So he wrote 2 books that I really enjoyed. A few books. He wrote The War of Art, not The Art of War, The War of Art. And then this one is called Turning Pro. And it's all about how to, a lot of us struggle to get to work. We procrastinate. But I read these books to help me push through and not procrastinate on doing things. But what I liked about the book Turning Pro, it basically says with anything in life, you can see yourself as an amateur. And if you're an amateur, it's okay if you miss a day of exercise. It's okay if you don't push yourself. It's okay if you make mistakes and you continue making mistakes. It's not your job. You're not a professional. You're just an amateur. Now, with anything in life, in his case, he wanted to be a writer, but he looked at many other professions too. If you want to be a good teacher, you should see yourself as a professional, not as an amateur. Now, how does this apply to you? You might say, well, Eric, I see myself as a teacher. That's why I'm trying very hard. But in my case, the way I saw it is, I remember when I first started teaching, there was this one teacher that constantly said, this was my first year teaching, and it was at a really tough school. And this one teacher constantly said, it takes you 2 years before you start feeling comfortable as a teacher. And, I would just blindly accept it. And the other young teachers would also, we would just accept, okay, well, you're going to struggle for the first couple of years unless you do really well or if you're in a very good school. But the truth is, if I didn't take his viewpoints, if I didn't believe what he said, and I said, I'm a professional, I'm going to do the best job I can, I'm going to be the very best person for these kids, I'm not sure it would have changed anything. There's no way to say, but it would have been a better mindset to have that I'm the best professional for these students. I'm the best person to teach them. That would have been a better mindset than, oh, you know what, I'm it's going to take me some time to get into this and to start. So always see yourself as a professional. And so for me with YouTube videos, for example, what I do is, instead of saying, oh, you know what, I'm not feeling really well, I don't want to put a video out this week, everyone can wait till next week. um I see myself as a professional. I'm like, I better put something out for my audience. They're expecting it. You're professional, Eric. Even though I'm not a professional, I'm just a teacher sitting here making videos. It's not my job, but I see myself as a professional, and I want to. And because I put that pressure on myself, positive pressure, I want to bring it out. So yeah, very true. And if you have discipline and if you push yourself, it will be way better. The hard thing is actually getting out of the door, but after 3 weeks, it becomes part of your routine and something you do definitely. Someone said you should put your trainers next to your bed when you wake up, or make it easy for yourself to do these things that you don't want to do. For myself, in the mornings when I have to go to the gym and do my kickboxing, I always remind myself, if I when I always know that if I go and do it, I will feel better. I always remind myself, at the moment I'm lazy, I don't want to do it, but as soon as I'm busy working out, I know that afterwards I'll feel great. So that's something I tell myself. What is your channel's name? Bahare. Yeah, please check out her channel. Bahare is there. And then I'm a teacher of history in Ukraine. I'm a beginner in learning English, but I listen to you speaking about English children. They are the same in Ukraine. Children are the same and students are the same all over the world. That's what's so lovely. Celeste, out of curiosity, I would like to know what do you find more challenging when teaching English to children or adults that don't speak English at all? Good vibes. Well, I think it's what you're good at. Now, it's if you like having fun and you're energetic and you've got all these activities and games that you can use with kids to get them motivated, that's I think that will make it teaching children easier for you. For myself, I just feel like now I'm getting more relaxed, and I'd rather push all the students and adults. I'd like to push them to talk more about what they're learning, and they're more calm. So I don't have to worry about classroom management. I can just relax. Maybe it's just because I'm getting lazy. It's not because I'm getting older. It's just I'm getting more lazy. So for me, I prefer adults because they've already got that experience and I can bring it out of them. So that's what I'm going to say, Celeste. I think if you've got the activities and you've got the energy, it might be easier with younger learners, but with adults, I enjoy that more. Elsa, hi, teachers of the world. Elsa, how are you doing? Another great book is Tips is Tools of Titans by Tim Ferriss. His podcast is great too. Yeah, I mean, Tim Ferriss, he started a revolution. Millions of people read his book. What is it? 4 hour work week. And, it just changed the way that we saw life, especially with the internet, how we can live. Hi, Balapik. I'm not sure. My reading is so bad. Eat keto. I use fairy tale for beginners in reading and listening skills. Is it useful? Are you talking about I use fairy tales for beginners in reading? Sure. For beginners, you can use a lot of fairy tales. The students, most of the students already know the stories, and these stories are specifically made for children. So that's why it's very useful for kids, because they've also got pictures. So if you read the fairy tale, usually they've got pictures, so you can read it, you could show the kids, and they just love it. I'm eager to see you in a classroom, your way of teaching. My way of teaching is very lazy. Thank you. English lesson. It's just me getting the students to talk a lot. But yeah, I think I have recorded myself teaching in the past. Maybe next year I'll do it again. You guys will probably say, "Oh, Eric, your classes are so simple." But if it works, it works, and I really enjoy that. Amina, hello. Ari, Kabar Paik, how about you? I'm really good, thank you. Mau Mau, I'm late. Mau Mau, I love reading your name. Wisdom words, my dear Eric, thanks for that. I will put all the cards on the table to help them see what to be the results of the decision they make. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, just show them what is possible, what they can learn. Layla, how to be a professional teacher. Do what professional teachers do. So do the best for your students, be well prepared, work with your colleagues, and help them learn, learn new skills. I think that's what it is to be a professional teacher. Find resources, find tools to help your students teach. And then once you've found things that work for you, share it with other people. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Am I forgetting something? Teacher, I'm Fatima from Morocco. Another Fatima. Hi, Fatima. Watching movies helps us improve our English more than reading. No. Listen, people watch movies all the time with subtitles. It doesn't mean that they're learning English. You've got to use it in a way that is practical. So you've got to write down the vocabulary. You've got to work on the expressions, learning the expressions, the grammar that they use in the movie. So the movie itself won't work. But if you take that movie and you break it down into pieces, you can look into the way that they pronounce certain words, into the grammar that they use, the expressions. And then if you take those and you start using them in different context, if you use it in a different way for the students to memorize it and become comfortable with it, then you are learning through movies. But just watching a movie on its own is not learning English. Now, with reading, same thing applies. You can read some books, but unless unless the student takes that information and uses it themselves, or they can write it down, they can use it in a different way, they can have conversation using what they've read, that is how they're going to learn. So very important. Both can work, but you've got to use them. Laila, that's what you just asked. Patricia, I love teaching all ages, but I think my favorite ones are teenagers. Although I have a 78-year-old lovely lady, she steals my heart every time. But I feel you. I'm lazy sometimes too. Well, Patricia, I'm planning on doing my video on Friday. I'm having a photographer friend, come to the kickboxing gym, and I want to make a video on why boxing instructors or fitness instructors, that we can learn a lot from them when we're teachers. And I thought the same thing, when you're teaching someone a skill, the way that you practice it, the way that you interact with it, the way that you correct their mistakes, it's very similar in many ways. If you're learning a sport, if you're learning dancing, if you're learning English, there are so many ideas that we can take from these places. So that's why I like someone like you, for example. Let's say you're teaching Zumba or you're teaching something. The way that you teach your teenagers or the 78-year-old lovely lady, we can apply that to our English too, and also be successful. With young learners, use props with your stories. Adapt them to. You can make it easy. I like using props, Letty, for stories. What do you think is important to become a freelance online teacher for 2002? Great question, Martin. I think you've got to establish yourself online. So you've got to create a website, or at least on Facebook, put your name out there. Recently, I was talking to another teacher. They reached out to me, and they've got an Instagram account, and on this Instagram account they just post useful things to their students. Now eventually students will find that, they will log in, and that's a way for you to be connected to your students. Now earlier I was thinking about this, and the reason that I think something like YouTube is useful is, imagine the amount of lessons that you have taught in your life, the thousands and thousands of lessons that you have taught. Those lessons were useful for 20 students in your class, or if you're teaching the same lesson to multiple grades, like we've all done at some point, then that might be useful to 100 students, that one lesson, right? But imagine if you recorded that lesson and you put it out onto YouTube, or you put it out on a website or on Facebook. And now there is a possibility that that content, that lesson is out there forever, and it's constantly helping other students out there. Now, let's say you're making these videos about learning English, and now you're getting more students that are following your account. They're looking at you perhaps to take lessons, and because of this online presence that you've established, now you can be a successful freelance online English teacher. And I think that is a route many, some of the, I think maybe a couple of years ago, people that were quick on the draw started doing that. And they are the ones that are successful. But there's still a lot of space. There's still a lot of there are still a lot of opportunities for people to be successful online teachers. The problem is, you know, that they everyone tries to go through these platforms where there are students already, instead of creating their own presence out there. Good question, Martin. Mark in Taiwan. I already signed a teaching contract in Taiwan for next year. Any advice for a non-native ESL teacher like me? By the way, I'm from the Philippines. Thanks, bro. Well, first things, if you're a non-native ESL teacher, never let that bother you. You have learned skills. It doesn't matter how you learned English or what your level is. If you are native or non-native, the fact that you can help your students improve their English, that's all that's important. So never let that hold you back. The second thing, so if you're going to work with your students, do your best for your students to help them achieve it. So make it fun, make it interesting, get them to engage with the activities and with whatever you're trying to teach them. I think that's the most important. Engage your students. Um, Laila, thanks for your advice, Martin. When my good wife was doing a doctorate in Oxford, the professors told her to read anything and everything, not just what she was researching, as this will help. Yeah, of course, you want to learn and get experience and knowledge in all these different ways. So yeah, no, I think that's useful. You know, so I'm looking at other things that can help teachers. You know, so I was just currently I was looking up some information on interesting sites, um, fun sites to use on Google that people don't know about. And some of these sites are like, there's this one site where you can go online and you get a tiny car and you can drive the tiny car around the neighborhood using Google Maps. And this that might be a fun lesson for students to practice giving directions, you know. Or there's another website where teachers can can make an AI read a script, and that can be applied in class somehow. I'm not sure how, but by looking at all these other ways, not just normal ways of teaching, I think maybe we can find some exciting new ways to teach. So yeah, I think it's very important to find many other resources. Zaiba, hello from Chitrao, Pakistan. Hi, Faraz. Greetings. I think you meant prompts. I think you mean prompts. Maybe. I think I do. I agree. Being a dance instructor helped me a lot. Prompts. Maybe that's what I want to say. The parents of my kids said that their English level is getting better now, but I am spoiling the kids too much. Should I listen to the parents and start being strict? Balance. No, I think your relationship with the students is the most important. If the students are improving, is that your job? Yes, your job is to improve them. But if it's something specific that the parents are saying, like maybe the students are they're misbehaving because you're spoiling them, then maybe you don't want to go super strict, but you want to fix whatever reason they give for the students being spoiled. But listen, if your students are doing their job, if you are happy and they're happy and their parents are happy that they are improving, continue doing it. But I would say be mindful. The parents wouldn't say that just because, but take into account and see if you can tweak it. I wouldn't say go super strict, but I would say tweak it to make sure it's working. That's what I would say, Mau Mau. But good job on improving their level. I would like to pivot my channel towards English learning for my students. Yeah, that can be very useful. For myself, of course, I want to do some videos on grammar and things too, but I will do it from a teacher's perspective. But yeah, I think it's definitely possible to pivot, Martin, if you want to move more towards sharing, making videos for your students. I think that it's definitely possible. Could you suggest stories that can help students learn? Actually, well, I can't think of any right now. There are millions of stories out there. There are lots of books. But my mom I asked my mom to start thinking of like 100 stories that we can use for grammar. So she's busy thinking about it. It'll probably take another year or two, but we're going to make a book with some English stories based on some grammar, grammar, and we'll make that in the future. But yeah, any stories that your students find interesting, you'll find some level appropriate readers, reading books that the students can use. Just check it out online. I'm sure you'll find. For us, the most important thing in learning English, practice and practice, especially listening and reading. Definitely. Mark, you're awesome, bro. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Jesus, absolutely. Patricia, props, I think, like aids or flashcards. Right. A very inspiring experience today. Thanks, Eric, and those who shared questions and responses. Daisy Dow, how to be great at learning English. Practice, Jesus. Do your best. Learn. Find someone to practice with. Yeah, guys, we've got 4 minutes left. I'll just read the final couple of messages. And remember, if you want a free month with Twinkl, you can just write that into into Chrome, and then you'll open up a form and just put in your name and your email, and I'll help you with that. Fatima, I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much, Fatima. I think I'm a bit stressed for the week ahead. I've got so much to do and so many things to get sorted. So I am a bit stressed, but hopefully we'll push through. I just need to make it onto that plane in 11 days, and then I'll be happy. What about a soft tactic for not using phones in class? Oh, Luzang, it's a tough one. I just tell my students not to use phones, and then during breaks they can use. Yeah, soft tactic. I think the soft tactic is probably warning. So you can just, just with like their speaking, you can just write their name on the board, or you can say, so instead of writing the students, you can write the student's name and make a stripe next to it. Or if you've only got a few students, start by, instead of making a hangman, start by drawing a phone. And if you get to the end of the phone, you will take the phone, right? So that way they're also learning. So it's not really a hard tactic. It's just more of a warning for them to listen up. But I'll think of some more things, Luzang. I'm sure there are some good ideas. And in mind, in the setting of private education, institutions and students and customers are often discrete entities with hardly aligned goals and motivations. Teachers become service providers as well, definitely. On the top of being instructors, donning the occasional educator's hat. This creates many fine lines to walk besides just doing a good job in the classroom. 100% in demand. They say that teachers are so stressed right now because of all these different hats we have to wear, and it is difficult. But I'm so happy that so many teachers are out there still doing their best, trying to to be good teachers. So yeah, hopefully things will get easier, but it is very difficult, especially in today's milieu, for teachers to just be teachers, But thank you so much for bringing that up. That's such a valid point, and I think everybody enjoys reading these messages of yours in demand. So thank you so much. Leila, you're a great teacher. Thank you so much. That is why I'm here, to learn and improve from others' experiences. And it works. Thank you all. Oh, so great, in demand. Thank you. Could you paste it in the comments? The bit. Wait, it's bit.ly. So bit.ly #execute. Okay, I'll quickly type it in the comments. So bit.ly /eta draw. Is that right? There we go. Okay, so put that in if you want the Twinkl. If you want the Twinkl month, Fatima. Thank you, Fatima. A really benefit. Nawal, how do we encourage students to voice? Okay. I think I've spoken about it before, but Nawal, ask me next week, and I'll try and answer that one again. Set the rupees and Fatima related to life skills, very interesting, and soft skills. I think that would be interesting. Fatima, I'll definitely look into it into next year when I do that. Okay, everyone, thank you so much for joining the live stream. I hope you have a fantastic week, and I'll see you next week. I'm Eric from Execute, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.